Well, good morning. I'm reading from the book of Acts this morning, chapter 1. Everybody wants to know what time it is. It was no different with the disciples. After the resurrection of Jesus, he met with them, and he said, they asked him, verse 6, "When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?" This is what they wanted. They wanted a political leader. They wanted an earthly king. They wanted for him to do the things that Isaiah and Ezekiel, Jeremiah, the prophets had prophesied would happen. They were ready for this kingdom to be set up here on earth. Lord, is it time for you to do that? Verse 7, he said unto them, "It is not for you to know the times of the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power." Man, he just wouldn't tell them what time it was. It's not for you to know. Isn't that funny? You know, God's given us His Word. He's given us all this information in His Word. And yet one of the things that He hasn't given us is a timing factor. And for 2,000 years, people have tried to figure it out. Oh, with the plots and the charts and the swooping lines and and all of these things and the moons and the stars and just constantly. He's not going to tell you what time it is. He's not going to tell you what that part of His plan is. There's certain things that are for you and I to know, and then there's stuff that God says it's not for you to know. But what we do need to know He's given us. So He doesn't want you to know what time it is. That's His business. We need to leave that alone. Here's what He does want us to know. Verse 8, "But," He says, "ye shall receive power. After that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth." A concentric circle looking like a target with Jerusalem, the bullseye at the dead center of the earth. Impact, ground zero, wham! Right at Jerusalem, the gospel message of Jesus Christ comes. This massive explosion of witnesses begins to move outward from Jerusalem. This is God's plan. What time is it? It's time to share the gospel. It's time to be a witness for Jesus. It began 2,000 years ago. It continues unto this day. If you and I knew what time it was, would we change anything? Would we do anything differently? I'm not sure. But here's what I do know. I know that He's given us marching orders. I know that He's told us that He wants us to be witnesses for Him. That affects our life. It affects every aspect of our life. It affects the way we live, the way we talk. It affects how we treat other people. It affects what we say. Our job is to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our job is to be salt and light in this world. We are priests. We are a royal priesthood. We have a priestly job of offering up spiritual sacrifices that are holy and acceptable to God, the first of which is our bodies, our entire self, giving that over to God. I want to know what time it is too, but He's not going to tell me. He's not going to tell you. He said it's not for us to know. But here's what we do know. We have to be witnesses. We have a job to do. I just want to encourage you today. Let's be witnesses for Jesus. That's what He's called us to do. He's called us to love people and to share the gospel with them. He's called us to be the people who are constantly pointing other people to Jesus. Let's be like Andrew. Every time we meet Andrew in the scriptures, he's bringing somebody to Jesus. Have a great day.